So the Frozen graphic novel I think is kind of weird, and I think this is similar to The Little Mermaid more so than, say, Snow White. The problem Little Mermaid had was that it really didn't feel like it knew how to expand on Ariel's character in such a short amount of time, so instead it went with the idea of Ariel's adventure being more the line of the princess is ultimately right, which is sort of what the Disney Renaissance really did sort of go with in terms of where they put the focus for the character. The idea that, the princess is the one ultimately right in that particular setting. Frozen really only excels in emphasizing the crossroads Anna and Elsa are at, and have been in since the accident, and there isn't much to this that you don't already get from the movie. This is sad because there are moments when Elsa could use that internal dialogue, and the idea that as free as Elsa feels by herself, she doesn't really feel as happy as she says she does. In other words, the whole let it go moment. It feels empowering, but afterwards, after it's all sort of died down, she realizes how lonely she is. Anna's pretty much the same, as the only real bit of insight we get into her is just sort of how she feels about Kristoff. It's a shame that that isn't really played around with. Though retelling is very cut and paste, it doesn't really take the time to explore anything else about the surrounding world, and I think that isn't helped by Frozen 2, as the movie implies a lot more about Elsa's powers, and it again doesn't really do anything with the ideas being presented. What Frozen does is really very little as a graphic novel, and I think it comes down to just too much going on in the story itself. You have Anna trying to start her life, whether it be with, the gates finally opening or meeting Hans, Elsa being in fear of her powers and trying to keep her sister and everyone safe, and even from there you have Hans, the Duke of Wesselton, Kristoff, the trolls, Olaf, and it's all so much that the story doesn't really know where to go. Compare this to Snow White, with the only perspective being Snow's, and we just have the good benefit of her being the only focus and everything in the world playing off of that. For example, there's no internal dialogue of any other character in the Snow White graphic novel, but we get a little glimpse of everything else going on there. Namely, the fact that it's mentioned in the narration that, hey, the staff, the servants put in the extra work of keeping Snow and the Evil Queen separate from each other, because nothing good will come from that. Here, the staff, or there's no other narration to really help solidify anything else that we might like to know. We know that by Frozen 2, Elsa and Anna's mom was actually much more important than we thought, and she doesn't really get much to say here either. Maybe Frozen should have been a two-part story, one from primarily Anna's perspective and the other from Elsa, seeing those two play off of each other, but the story is more interested in showing you the juxtaposition of how they both feel really is sort of the same thing. When they're young, it's like, oh, I have the best sister ever, I love my sister, now it's, will you let me in? Elsa, like, no, Elsa, I can't let you in, I'm trying to protect you. These two things are great, but the stuff we already know, so there's nothing really to it from that. And there's not even much playing around with how they feel about other characters. For example, there's no idea that Elsa may have a bad feeling about Hans, or that Anna plays off of the two comparisons. Like, she knows more about Kristoff than about Hans. None of that really comes to fruition, and it's a bit sad. Or maybe I'm just here at the wrong spot. Maybe I was so blown away by the Snow White story that I expected Cecil to deliver it all the time. And I just really can't bring myself to truly enjoy Frozen. It's just who I am on the inside. Who knows? Anyway, with that in mind, we'll bring this video to close here. If you're new to the Bucket Think, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out some other videos, and I'll catch you all later. This is Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.